I am a huge Real Housewives of New York fan, and you have done a lot of coverage over the years on the Real Housewives of New York, but recently you have zeroed in on former Real Housewives of New York City housewife Carole Radziwill, who is a pretty significant part of the new CNN docuseries on John F. Kennedy Jr., where they are really massaging history, and I'm eager to get your take on this. But Radziwill is going a little bit viral for some comments she made about RFK Jr. on the Kara Swisher podcast. This is like my nightmare blunt rotation, Maureen.
I know. I'm right there with you, Emily.
Let's go ahead and roll S5.
I mean, he really made his mark going being an anti-vaxxer. That was his whole thing. My feeling is like he had exhausted everything he could possibly write and talk about on the environment, which I think always was his true passion, at least when I knew him. And then like, okay, it was almost like a money thing. So how you're going to switch, and now you're going to write 10 books on pharmaceutical companies and vaccines, and that just became like, it's almost like to my head, it's like a business move.
A grift.
Yeah.
So that's insane to me, the idea that this is a business move when all you can write about right now is climate change, and you'll get your books sold literally anywhere that they hawk books like that. But Maureen, maybe I'm being uncharitable towards Carole. What do you make of that accusation that RFK Jr. pivoted to vaccine safety for the sake of kind of making more money after he ran out of things to write on the environment?
Well, it's not a very sexy topic, number one. Number two, I remember when that book was being published and I tried to get an advance copy of it, which any publisher always wants. You know, it's very hard to sort of pierce through in the culture these days with a book. And they were like hiding it. It was like they were ashamed of it. Like the real Fauci, the real Anthony Fauci, that book, like they were trying to bury it, you know. Times have since changed. I just don't think Carole is very bright, and I don't think she does the reading because he's not making a ton of money as a cabinet appointee. He's not. And number two, she's like, oh, this was just a cynical ploy to get money and attention. He had nothing left, says the woman who for the past 20 plus years has been feasting on the dead carcasses of JFK Jr. And I don't know if you knew this, Emily, but they were family.
Yeah,
because
it's come up once or twice.
She was married to JFK Jr.'s cousin, which made John Kennedy Jr., who she knew, that was her cousin too. And then Carolyn, who was married to John, she was also Carole's family. So they were sisters, really. But she doesn't want to belabor that point. She just wants to make sure you know that they were family.
Well, you know, I think she also, this one you genuinely don't hear her talk about it. I think she also was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell and has tried to downplay that recently. And Maureen, you haven't let her off the hook on that one. But
well, yes, you're so right. Like on the other, so one of our troublemakers emailed me and said, "Hey, like, do you remember who took Carole's author photo for What Remains?"
Yep.
And I said no. And I went and grabbed my copy and looked, and lo and behold, Emily, it was Ghislaine Maxwell.
The photo credit on the book jacket.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. So on that point, Radziwill she appeared on Watch What Happens Live recently, trying to get back in the good graces of the Bravo-verse. That is very interesting. Maureen, what do you think the plausibility of that relationship actually being mended and then maybe growing into something different or growing into something bigger again is? And is that where is any of this? Like, what is her strategy right now? Like, what is Carole Radziwill doing? She's out promoting the docuseries, so she's obviously involved with CNN and the promotion. She's not laying low. That much is clear at this point.
No, she loves fame. She pretends that she doesn't. Like her drag is as a public intellectual. Okay. But she, I think, is trying to, she's also on the show, on The Nerve, we call Carrie Bradshaw like our favorite sprightly 900-year-old heroine. And I think of Carole Radziwill as like our favorite sprightly 700-year-old influencer. Like she's off in the south of France right now being fabulous, subsidized by whom, I have no idea. There was a time after Housewives, I don't know if you remember this, Emily, but this is like where the off-screen melds with the on-screen, and it's so great. She was so desperate for cash. She was, just my opinion, she was hawking like her used underwear on Poshmark. And then she was selling a necklace that had as its charm like a vibrator. I mean, Lee Radziwill would never.
You'd think. And yet the modern Kennedys tell us that this is all very chic and very, liberal and good. I mean,
it's funny because I think Carole, I posit in Tomorrow's Nerve, that the mourning she's been doing these many years has really been about her expulsion from the Kennedy family. Once they all died, that was it for her. They have no interest in Carole. They can see a fame whore like her coming a mile away. I do think, though, your theory is probably right. There's talk that they're trying to recast yet another iteration of New York City.
Right.
And I'm sure she would like to paint herself or possibly be in the running as like a grande dame of the new iteration.
Over the years, I have been clear about this. I am not just pro-birth, I am pro-life. And being pro-life means standing with mothers not only before their baby is born, but long after. And that is exactly why I partner very proudly with Preborn. Preborn doesn't just save babies, they make motherhood abundantly possible. They provide free ultrasounds and share the truth of the gospel with women in crisis. And then they stay with real practical help, including financial support for up to 2 years after the baby is born. Incredible. This is what true Christ-centered compassion looks like, not just for the baby, but for the mother too. And here's where you can make a difference, a huge difference. Just $28 provides a free life-saving ultrasound. One chance for a mother to see her baby. And when she does, she is twice as likely to choose life. Amazing. Preborn is trying to save 70,000 babies this year. So don't just say you're pro-life, live it. Help save babies and support mothers today. Go to preborn.com/Emily or call 855-601-2229. That's preborn.com/Emily.